Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back. I am so excited for this video because I'm going to be trying out a really special palette, and that is the McGrath Huetopian Dream palette. So here is what it looks like. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. You can see the special shades are beautiful. It's kind of like a pinky, warm pop of purple type of palette. Just super, super pretty. So the reason this one is extra special is because I mentioned recently in a video, like trying to decide between this and a McGrath palette that I bought. I bought this subliminal one. It's the first one that I purchased from her, and I'm really loving it so far. I plan to do a multiple looks video soon, but I've mostly been playing with it off camera so far. But anyways, I did talk about wanting this palette and like maybe one day down the road, and a really sweet subscriber, Jessica, reached out and said that she ended up with an extra one and asked if she could send it to me, which is just so kind. Like I don't even know what I did to deserve her to want to gift this to me, but I just think it's so sweet, and I'm so excited to try it out. I plan on doing a video trying to dupe out the special shades of McGrath, and I was going to do it on obviously just the subliminal palette because that's the palette that I owned, but now I'm going to try to do these two because I feel like I haven't swatched them yet, but I feel like I have shadows that might be similar to these two special shades here. But anyways, I'm so excited about it. We're going to go ahead and do swatches, and I'm going to try and do it very similar to my video when I first tried McGrath for the first time. I'm going to do the mattes and the satins first, and then I'll do the special shades last on their own, and then I'm also going to do some swatches of the special shades topped over satins and just try to be as in-depth as I possibly can because you know this is an expensive palette. Obviously I won't be able to tell you if it would be worth it to me today because I feel like I'm gonna have to play with it for a while, but hopefully I can give you as much information in this video as possible as far as just my feelings on the quality. So here's what it looks like up close. The shade in the middle did come broken in the mail, but I just saved it as much as I possibly could, cleaned up the palette, and it was no biggie. And you can see from this shade here, this is extra exciting because there is a multi-chrome, so I can't wait to test that formula out. Yeah, thank you again, Jessica. I'm so grateful. And now let's go ahead and jump on into the swatches. Okay, so the very first shade we have here just looks like a pretty pale, like satiny, light neutral shade. I feel like that would actually be super pretty as a highlighter, which I plan to try it out as a highlighter today. And I mentioned this in my first impression of the subliminal palette, but I really like that Pat seems to have a pretty light satin shade in a lot of her palettes, just because that's something I would use a ton, especially if doing more of like a soft look with this, throwing it on the inner corner, under the brow, on the front of the lid, throw something matte in the crease and call it a day. So that one feels nice. And then our first matte here is like a really pretty kind of mauve-y tone. It's funny actually because it's showing up deeper on my finger than what I feel like it looks like in the palette, but it's a pretty dusty, like pinky mauve. And then next we have a satin shade here, which I would say is just a very bronze neutral brown. Nothing super exciting, but it does have good pigmentation, seems pretty. I was like, of every shade in this palette that could have broken, that's the one that hurts my heart the least, so there is that. But here's what those ones look like swatched out. Okay, so this shade does have a little bit of depth to it, so I'm not sure that it'll be the perfect highlight shade on me, but the shine does look pretty, so I'm still gonna try it out. Okay, then we've got our mauve, which that swatch is not that impressive. Let me do a little bit more. Okay. And then the bronze. Which I will say, even for being satin shadows, I feel like McGrath satins are super pretty. So next we have this matte, which is kind of just a chocolate brown type shade, and that is the deepest matte in the palette, but I'm not really mad at it because I feel like when it comes to a palette that's expensive, especially if you have more than one, you don't want repetitive shades, so I could easily pull into the black that's in the subliminal palette, throw them together, be very happy. And then we've got this shade here, which this one, I guess, I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to be described as a satin, but it has a duochrome and it's pretty sparkly. Like, I feel like that's way prettier than what it looks like in the palette. It's kind of like an orange base, but the pink in it is not that it's necessarily hot pink, but it is a pretty bright pink shimmer. I actually really like that one. I feel like I didn't even realize how beautiful that is. It kind of went a little bit unnoticed looking at the palette as a whole. Like obviously there are some other things taking my attention, but that's actually stunning. And I can't really think of another shadow that I have that looks like that. Even those two shades together, I think would be so cute. Okay, and then the last matte we have here is a pinky kind of coral matte. Definitely adds some vibrance. Okay. So everything's looking really pretty so far. Yeah, I mean, this shade, I personally wouldn't describe it as a satin. It definitely has a ton of sparkle. I feel like that one actually looks pretty special. Like that's the low-key a hidden gem. Like I feel like I've looked at this palette before and just never noticed how pretty that one is. So now let's go ahead and do the special shades. We're gonna start off with this gold right here, which feels so gritty to the touch, but from what I understand, after you kind of go in and like smooth it out a few times, they feel less gritty. And I've kind of heard people explain these special shadows as feeling like they don't have like a bunch of stuff holding them together, so it's more impact, more sparkle, more texture. I try not to think too much into the texture because they do look beautiful on a lid, but this is just a pretty average gold. I mean, it's very sparkly, but the color isn't necessarily anything super interesting. And then this next shade is so stunning. It's like a purple, pink, blue. Okay, you can see it in the pan. It actually, that entire shade fell out, but it fell out as whole, so I kind of just smushed it back down there, but it is a little sketchy, so I'm gonna be careful. But I mean, that just looks so beautiful. Right, so there's the gold, which, I mean, the texture is pretty. It's just the like orangey shade of gold isn't like screaming at my heart. Okay, and then we've got this shade, which, oh my goodness, so pretty. And it's not like I don't have colors in that shade, but it's just so sparkly. Also, can you tell that I have a kid? The scratches are everywhere. So next we have the multi-chrome shade. All right, so that just feels extremely creamy, like just kind of reminds me of the Cliona multi-chrome formula for some of the shades. Not every single one has the exact same texture, but for the extreme multi-chromes, it's kind of like that similar, like really creamy feeling shade. And I mean, you can kind of see the shift there. It's like a pink, red, green. Oh, I can see some like orange going on too. Definitely very multi-dimensional. And then of course we have this shade, which is another super sparkly topper one, but this is like a purpley blue and so pretty. Like this one especially, I was thinking about using with subliminal. I feel like the purple tones would look so cute with that palette. So I can't wait to do some looks with them together as well. But here we've got the multi-chrome, which I mean feels so good. And then here's the purple blue shade, which again, I mean, it's kind of like the other one. It's showing up a little bit more sheer because I think it is a bit more of like a topper, but the sparkliness is just super, oh, hello. Someone just jumped on my lap. The sparkliness is just so beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and insert a video from my phone so you guys can see the shifts just a little bit better. So that's the entire palette swatched out. I mean, I feel like it looks really beautiful, and all four of these special shades are very pretty. So it feels like a win in that dimension. But really quickly, I want to go through and take the 3 satin shades, and I'm gonna top them with the 2 more special, like more sheer shades, just to see what they can end up looking like. So starting off with the lighter pinky green one, I'm gonna go ahead and do that over this. I mean, I feel like those two together just look a little bit more opaque, and I think that'd be so pretty all over the front of the lid. I do that over the bronze. Oh wow, I mean, that really brings out the gold so much more. That looks so pretty. Okay, and then do that over the pink. Oh wow, what a stunning rose gold. I'm having so much fun with this. I feel like that just, wow. Like, I mean, that looks pretty, of course, like it's gonna be beautiful on its own, but I love how it looks over the satins. Swatching the 3 satin shades again so we can do the other one. So here is the purple shade over top. This one, I mean, it looks okay, but it doesn't really do anything super spectacular with the lightest satin. Here's the purple over the bronze. I mean, that's actually kind of a cool shade. Kind of gives it more of a mauve with like a purple shift kind of look to it. And then the purple over the pink. Oh yeah, I think I like that one the best. That looks really, really pretty. You can see kind of the difference there. But I feel like the lighter shade transformed the most, like so nice. I'm so excited about this. I feel like we need to do a super dramatic look. So I already went ahead and primed my eyes with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. I'm feeling kind of like go big or go home. So I think I'm gonna start off with this coral shade first. So I'm just gonna pack that through my entire crease. I mean, very, very pigmented right to start off with. So just kind of getting majority of the pigmentation down. And then once most of it is off of my brush, I'm gonna go through and just start blending that upwards. I've really been liking the Pat McGrath matte so far, but I will say that for me, the Anastasia Eye Primer has been the best. I did try blending them over a concealer that I like to use for primer sometimes, and it wasn't my favorite results. I feel like that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more, just kind of repeat the process. So I think I'm happy with how that's looking. I'm gonna go ahead and go into the matte brown now, and I'm just gonna use the same brush because I'm not gonna be so precise with it. I don't really feel like this is a look that I'm gonna deepen a ton. Kind of just do a little bit of matte work on the outer V, and then it's gonna be all about the lid. I mean, dang, that blended easy. Okay. A little bit shook. And then I just wanna get a head start on the lower lash line. I think I'm gonna start off with the matte brown, and I'm just gonna bring it like a third of the way in. I haven't decided. I'm like, maybe for the lower lash line I should go in with the multi-chrome, because I don't want to do that all over the lid today, but I'm still just pretty curious to test it out. You know what? I think that's actually what I'm gonna do while I'm here. I'm gonna go into that one on my pencil brush. Gosh, it's so creamy. It looks like, as I'm dipping my brush in, it looks like a cream shadow. But I'm just gonna go ahead and line that along the inner 2/3 of my lower lash line. Okay, I'm kind of like moving my head around, and I can't say that I see the shift a ton on the lower lash line, but it does look pretty. I feel like that's something I'm just gonna have to put all over the lid to like really see. But I think next I'm gonna go into this shade and just try a little bit of it underneath my brow bone, because apparently I'm stuck in 2015. Just a little bit right here. I mean, I think it looks pretty. Before I even swatched it, I feel like my plan was already to do this shade on the inner corner and the purple all over the lid, just because it's so pretty. But I'm thinking I might do the purple topped over this pink shade. So we'll try the pink shade first and kind of see what that looks like on its own, because I feel like you could definitely stop there, and then we'll try the purple on top. So I think I'm just gonna use my finger for the satin. I think it should be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that all over the lid. Yep, that's beautiful. Like I said, you could totally do this exact look and stop right there, throw something on the inner corner, and be good. I feel like this one could have been counted as a special shade. It's more special to me than like the blue that's in Subliminal. So now we're gonna go into the purple, but from my experiences so far, the best way to use those shades is wet. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and put that over top. Ooh, I feel like it looked better when it was more opaque. Like when I swatched out, let me go in with a little bit more. I mean, it does look really pretty, and there's like pink and purple sparkles kind of mixing from both shades. but I don't know that it's giving me, it looked better swatched out. Huh. Let me just pack it on a little bit more. Ooh, you know what I want to do? This is so silly. I saw Kim Kardashian do this once and it's been stuck in my head ever since. I'm gonna pick up the purple on my finger and then I'm gonna spray my finger. I don't know if this is actually gonna work, but I swear I saw it in like a Vogue interview or something. Oh, I missed my finger. Lovely. Got it. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay. I don't know if that was too much. Okay. I don't know if I want it with too much spray because it feels like some of the shadow's coming off, but at the same time it looks really pretty too. Huh. Feels like a mistake. Okay, I'm gonna go in with some more over top. Oh lordy. There it is. I feel like that was the magic combo. Whatever just happened. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of low-key making a mess, but I don't even care. Okay, so I'm going over this side with another layer without wetting my finger or anything. And I feel like you can tell that this side just looks a little bit more like wet, a little bit more special, whereas this side just looks a little bit more dry. Going in with a little bit of spray on this side too. So I think that's like the most sparkly thing I've ever gone in with all over my lid before. Like it's just, it kind of took up everything. Like it's all the way up in my crease, but I'm not even mad at it. It's even down here a little. It's fine, we'll just make it even. Okay, I made an absolute mess. I should have done my face afterwards, but it's fine. For me today, this is just makeup playtime. I don't have anywhere to go. So I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna let it dry down and then I'll try to blend out the crease a little bit. But I think now I'm gonna go ahead and take that lighter shade. I'm also gonna spray that one and just pop that on the inner corner. Okay, so I feel like sprayed on the inner corner, it is showing up pretty gold. But I mean, it's still stunning. I'm still making a mess. It is what it is at this point. So I'm grabbing my crease brush and just going over this real quick. Just so it's not such an intense edge. Actually isn't bad. It didn't even get everywhere. Okay, so I feel happy with how that turned out. I think it looks really, really beautiful. Let's go ahead and try these on the face real quick. I think I'm gonna start off with this shade right here and just see what it looks like for blush, because I think it might be light enough / a good tone. So I'm just gonna grab a little Sonia Kashuk blush brush and throw that on my cheeks. Kind of like that pinky mauve color, just felt like it would go along. I feel like anytime in an eyeshadow palette, if there's a good matte formula, I like to use it as a blush and it normally turns out pretty good. So now let's go ahead and try out the highlighting shade. All right, gonna put that on the tops of the cheekbones. Okay. I mean, like I said, it has a little bit of a cast, but if you blend that into the blush, that's actually so pretty. Little on the nose, chin. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna go into the Colourpop Charmed Liner, throw it in my waterline. Gonna go into the Makeup Geek Extension Effect Mascara for my lashes, and I'll be right back. So for lips, I'm just gonna finish off with the Pat McGrath Dare to Bare Lip Gloss. I'm low-key frustrated with this gloss because I feel like so many people said this formula was amazing and it looks really pretty from afar, but when you get up close, it separates like there is no tomorrow, and I just don't think it looks cute, so I don't know how to feel about it. Alright y'all, so this is the entire look finished and I really, really love how it turned out. I mean, it's kind of what I expected from the palette. It's kind of how I saw it going just because that purple immediately grabbed my attention and I just think it looks so, so pretty all over the lid. The texture is just so, so stunning. Again, I feel like same thoughts as the Subliminal. I can see why some people who haven't tried indie shadows would be obsessed with these and think that they are the most amazing eyeshadows ever. For me, I feel like they're on par with a lot of indie brands that I really, really love. So it's not like this like feeling of finding something new, finding something different, but it's still extremely beautiful. I cannot deny that. So I'm happy with it. I feel like the mattes blended really nicely. and I can't wait to play with it more. I'll definitely give you guys my full thoughts in the future, but for now, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!